hold yourself together now then? So yeah, we'll talk about what next then. What's your idea? The cooker, right? I think we'll talk about the cooker. I suppose being a captain as well, you've got to take ideas from the crew. You can't make every decision on your own. So I'll tell you all about my cooker. One cooker. Yes, this is not a boat cooker. This is a camping stove. Again, everything's down to budgets. Budget. I ain't a millionaire. There's like I said, boats. They can sap you dry. I think even if you're a millionaire, I think your boat's just it's gonna take every penny you've got. So the cooker I could do with, because with these gas camping stoves, it's not ideal in a confined space. It's going to give off carbon monoxide, which is eventually going to kill you. So ideally, if anyone out there fancies donating a decent cooker, I've not much room for gas bottles really. Possibly a chance of getting a gas bottle to the rear of the boat, but ideally I don't really want to be taking up more space, more weight. I've heard a few other examples. There's alcohol stoves and things like that out there. So yeah, I'm unfamiliar when it comes to cookers. I know I need a cooker with a gimbal, because when you're cooking and the boats are rocking, I'm not going to say it, when the boats are rocking, your pan's going to start falling. Yeah, so that's another job for the winter. New cooker, new ideas with a cooker. Next one, another job as well. This were a fantastic idea when I did it at the time, to me. Trouble was, I had trouble with this end panel. I put a couple of screws in it. Every time I had to pass it, it kept falling off. But the idea was, I saw this on someone else's boat, something similar to this, and because it's a small boat, there's not many places you can put your nav station. As you can see, I can just quickly show you around. Yeah, so the idea is it flips open, so you've got stereo for a bit of noise, radio. Downside to the radio being indoors, when I'm outdoors and we're motoring along, I've got the outboard motor sat sort of here on the side of me when I'm sat up out there, and I can't hear this radio whatsoever. You can buy speaker adapters for them, so the speaker can sit outside with you, but again, it's alright to have a speaker, but when you come to use it as well, you've got to climb in here. So for me, I could do with something, because I'm on my own and everything, I want to make everything as simple as possible and very easy to use. So I think come up with a new idea for the radio, where I can place it somewhere in this vicinity. I think keep it within this vicinity. There's probably just over, I don't know, probably about 100mm to play with there in distance, so I could possibly box this out, do something with it, maybe even perspex. I'm thinking maybe a perspex window, and have this sort of a similar sort of thing, but I can flip it to a perspex window, flip it back out, so I can also, when the weather's really bad, I can use my radio, and also because my chart plotter's on it. My chart plotter's there, so when it faces forward, I can see my chart plotter as well. So something else, my chart plotter, I don't really want to be sat out there in all the weather. If it ends up really bad weather, I don't want to be sat out there and fix it on the external to the boat. So ideally I could keep it in here. I'm thinking something along the lines of put the chart plotter in, have it on some sort of flip station. I think that's think I've just come up with a new niche, a flip station. Sounds good to me. So yeah, my chart plotter, I want it so that ideally when you're in and out of here, and if the sea's choppy, this isn't going to be doing this as well, because I had a lot of trouble with the weight of it as well. It keeps flicking back and forth, and you're trying to pass it, you're catching it, especially if you've got a bit of gear on. So again, it were a good idea at the time, small boats, so now it's do something with that. So I'll rejig all this, take all this out and do something over there. Rejig all my power. These are all your on off buttons for everything. So that's that, and also I'll just show you something else. I'm just going to switch the camera off and come back to you on this, see if it does it. I was going to show you my radio, but I was forgetting it's my old radio that I used to have trouble with. I think it was just lacking a suppression on the old radio. Every time I switched my nav lights on, the radio just used to go so it's not brilliant, you don't want that. So yeah, going back to something else as well with this nav station, I found, because these are very old, these are probably original 80s target. Yeah, depth sounder, distance log, that gives you an idea on speed. There's a little propeller just underneath that tells you speed through the water. You don't really need it to me, I don't get speed through the water, it's useless. Speed over ground, to me, you want to know how far you're getting and how fast you're doing it. Now that makes sense to me, so it must be old school thing, I don't know, might just be me. Yeah, another thing I've got is a self-deviating compass, which is this compass, and if you look over here, there's that. And what a self-deviating compass does is, there's allowances, this is science now, north and south, as we all think, there's a little pole at the north, there's a little pole at the south, and that runs like that. Well, in the boating world, compasses run like that. It's called the magnetic north, for those of you that aren't so sure. Excuse me. And what happens with the magnetic north as you travel around the world, it sort of changes as it goes round, and this allows for the differences in magnetic levels around the world. If you look on charts as well, there's always a little deviation on the charts that tells you how far out it is, so it helps you keep in a straight line really. If you travel in straight lines, I tend to travel like that and eventually hope that I get somewhere. But still learning, keep up with me guys, keep up. So yeah, there's that that could probably come out, because my chart plotter does everything. That tells me where I'm going, and then worst case scenario, I've got this thing here, the good old compass, and they're the opposites. So hang on, when you look at it, that's telling me north, which is, yeah, north. But if that were to work as a compass, that'd be south, what you'd be looking at there, if this makes sense. So it's showing me north, I'm facing north, but if you were actually using a compass, that'd be south, so it'd be what, 180 degrees, which you can see there. So you'd be looking at 180 degrees, which it wouldn't make sense when you're travelling, because you want to know that you're travelling north. So the first thing you want to see is the way you're travelling, so it gives you 0 degrees, which is north, which I thought was quite clever. I didn't quite get it when I first started sailing. I'm like, what, I don't know. So yeah, there's lots of little tricks to boating. It's a centuries old tradition, and the very first Vikings used to, I think I've been watching Vikings, a TV program, and they sail by like old moonstorms, sunstorms or something like that, and to me it's like, wow, these guys travelled the world, they discovered things like America unofficially, and Iceland. That reminds me, Davey, Mum's gone to Iceland. See if she can get us one of them Viennetta slices. Do nicely after tea, that, won't it? Oh, we're recording, Davey. We're recording. Now, they fascinate me, stories like this, the Vikings and things like that. There's loads of stories on the sea and the Greeks and so forth and so forth. So again, I could probably lose a few of them things. My chart plotter tells me where I'm going. It'll give me an idea. Well, it says speed over ground, but it's a Garmin. I don't rate the plotters myself. I know it's an out-to-date plotter, but this is just my personal thingy going off this plotter. They may have got better Garmin, unsure. I'll not find out for a while. So I use another thing called Navionics that gives me an idea on speed over ground. It can tell me how fast I'm travelling, because there's two differences: the speed over ground, which is the actual distance you've travelled, speed through the waters, the speed that the boat's going through the water, but it's not accurate, because another science behind sailing is the tides. If you're travelling at 4 miles an hour and the tide's travelling at 2 miles an hour in the same direction, you're actually travelling at 6 miles an hour. Does that make sense? So yeah, another science. Right, more jobs.
Final